All right, everybody. We are now live. Getting everything together here. Making sure the stream's looking good. Indeed it is. So, where we left off last time, we were working on a model that was pretty interesting. I'm gonna move some of my stuff here so I can see the chat screen on my phone just a little bit better. Yeah, that looks good. I can see it now. Yep, I can see it. Cool. All right, guys. So, welcome to the stream. Yes, welcome to the stream. So we were working on a character here that last night we started around 3 in the morning. We started looking at this guy here. Oh, son of a bitch. The shortcuts I set up are being overridden. That's super duper fun. 1 second here. I'm going to see if I can get my little device to do what it's supposed to do. Make sure I uncheck all these boxes here. We'll see if that does it again. Done. Is it going to work? Nope, it's not going to work. That's BEA beautiful. One more time. Nope, doesn't work. All right, just forget it. I'm going to stop worrying about that then. I set up a remote. It took me like 20 minutes, and it's just overriding it. Lovely. I'll just do this manually. So, back to the stream. All right. So, we've been working on this character here, and it used to be much prettier. But we started looking at the anatomy of the character and really wanted to, well, we wanted to do some really specific things. We wanted to get the anatomy closer to something that resembled a more natural character. And when we were doing that, we realized that oh man, I'm gonna have to like refresh all of my knowledge that I gained and lost all in one night. We were working on the mandible of this character last night, and we had realized that the zygomatic process, which is the bone right here, that the ear, the base of the ear for a bat character, which this now clearly shows, that this character should have a zygomatic process that ends in the ear, and the top of kind of the ridge of the eye is where the tip of the ear should be. So we started kind of grinding this out and really just messed with the geometry of the character quite substantially. And we did that as kind of a sketch to say like, hey, like what should this guy look like? How should he be seen? And when we did that, we really smashed him up. So if we load the old model, I'm gonna load one of the old tools. Maybe I have no idea which one. Let's load 14. Yeah, so this is where he started. And we said, hey, these ears are really tall up here. We want to we want to move this guy down here. We want to move this point here down to here, and we wanted to move this point here down to here. And we were kind of considering different ways to do that, and we sketched it out. It looked pretty good. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to take this model and see what we can do to get it where we want. So I'm going to start here. Last night I also reviewed the stream. It looked like I kind of had a mono audio going on. So now that my voice is now in stereo. I also realized that when we were looking at the YouTube tutorials that audio wasn't passing through. So Sage Ice Claw, welcome to the stream. what we realized was that there was a couple problems with the stream, so I've spent a couple hours tonight kind of making sure all that looks good. A lot of those are apparently in vain because my remote view switcher doesn't work, but that's okay. I'm not going to be using it too much tonight, I don't think, but hey, you never know. So of course, once again, we're on a stream without music, so that you can listen to whatever music you want while you're listening and watching me draw on stream. So enjoy that, I guess. I've of course got some music going in my headphones, so I don't get too bored here. So let's. I'm gonna, at the beginning of the stream here, attempt to redo some of the geometry moves that we were doing before, and I'm gonna see if maybe I do a little less extreme of a model here. Excuse me, of a move, that if we can get this how we like. So I'm gonna start that process now, and you guys can explore with me and see what we find. Yeah, so Sage Ice Claw, I did see the model you sent. Sorry, I saw that you did send a model. But one of the things that I want to do here is, last night when I was doing this, I was just super tired and couldn't figure out what I was doing by the time we started talking about this process. So I'm gonna try this one more time in ZBrush and see if I can get it how I like, so that I don't have to integrate new topology into the model. And we'll see if I can. We'll see if I can get this figured out in ZBrush first, and if it just gets weird, hey, I'll try the model that you sent out, and maybe even in a follow-up tutorial here, maybe after we're done with this, I can explain and show how to integrate foreign topologies into ZBrush, so that, let's say that if you did have an artist like Sage Ice Claw send you a model, how could you integrate that into your process? I might try to show that. So I grabbed this here, but I didn't put it exactly where I wanted. I think I want to put it more lower there, like that. And I'm now going to grab. I did like the proportions I had before, but I'm gonna drop this guy a little bit here. So let's grab this. That about 5 times. Oop, I don't want to smooth. I want to move. I'm just gonna move these guys down a little bit. Though I think I want to grab more of that arch. So I'm gonna grab a little more of that arch. So let's just do this. And there's kind of the base. Sure, let's see if we go with that. I'm gonna also grab the area down here that I missed. Seems legit. Let's flip it, blend the mask a little bit. I'm just gonna move the whole thing down now. Yeah, okay. And I want to try to get it. I'll move forward a little bit, and I'm gonna try to close this gap a little bit. So there's a start there. And we also said we were going to move the jaw down, and I still have the anatomy study we did here last night kind of showing the process of what we were doing, and the estimates and guesses we were making. Sage Ice Claw was very happy to provide me with some nice anatomy references, and we can kind of go back and look at those real quick. We had the bat skull there, and we had some sketches of like how should this character appear. All right, I'm actually going to hide guides. Oh, God, I don't have my keyboard in front of me. But you kind of saw how we wanted to move the chin down a little bit. So that's one of the things we were gonna do there. Now I need my keyboard because I'm stuck in Photoshop. And we're back. So I think I got those down a little bit. All right, let's keep moving. So I got, oh no, that's not exactly what I want. I didn't want to leave that there. No, yeah, that's fine. We'll leave it there. All right. We're gonna grab now. I guess I'm just gonna grab the top. Let's see if we can move this. if that's going to deform exactly how I want, but I might just grab it piece by piece. And I can always move this back up and kind of redo the ear hole, the ear clip, because I'm going to merge this one back in once I get that done too. Get a little asymmetry on the character, make it a little more organic. Yeah, I like that. And I'm also going to rotate it a little. I don't like how they're sticking right up. Oh, that's not exactly. I think I'm going to use the move tool instead of the rotate. Oh, I am in the move tool. That's why it wasn't working. And I'm basically going to do that. Get a little rotated there. That's looking nice. And I'm going to close that hole up a little bit. Rotate the ears and move them down. Yeah, I think I see what you're saying. Try to do it like this. All right, let's see what a rotate does here. Maybe rotate it like this. No, I guess maybe I want to talking about like this. Like this. No. I'm still trying to figure out a lot of ZBrush tool. There, that's what I wanted to do. So I'm gonna kind of give a little. I'm gonna move these guys in. I don't want them this big, obviously, but I want to create more of a concave shape here. And I'm gonna use the move tool now. I'm gonna move these guys in. That's good there, and then just kind of move them in like that. And we're starting to get kind of a nice bat ear shape. I like that. That's looking good. You think we should rotate them outwards, like so that the ears are so that the shape of the ears, let's see, so that they're pointing outwards. I mean, like, I'm trying to think of. I mean, I think I know what you're saying. I think you want me to have it so that they're that this isn't blocking out. That's turned. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. You're right. They shouldn't be pointing forward like eyes. They should be pointing outward like ears. That's a really good point. I'm in move still. Let's go to rotate. I think it did them this way, right? Yeah, that's gonna look more natural, isn't it? The tips point out, not in. Do you mean this by the tips? That these should be pointing outward like that? Like they should be kind of pointing outward? Or are we talking about the concave, convex nature? These should point outward. Yeah, I think it's you're saying. It shouldn't be angled like that. It should be angled like this. Let's do that. And I kind of flattened that, unfortunately. So I'm going to roll this back to here. Yeah. Let's see here. So I'm going to have to grab the whole ear in order to do that. So I'm going to get the shape about where I want, and then I'm going to rotate them out. Cool. I'm just going to try to grab it like this, and I'm going to block out some more stuff. Let's see how that looks. I got some stuff down here I don't want. I think I grabbed. Is this masked? I don't know if that's masked or painted. So give me a second to change this to freehand. Yep, that is masked. I don't want all that masked. Just kind of grab some more. Oop. All right, that looks looks like a good mask to me. I'm going to kind of clean up some of this one here almost. Yep, looks good. Flip it, blend it a little. Let's see if we can get it to do the rotate we want. So I'm gonna rotate them so they're forcing out. And I know what you mean by just do the tip, but I want to keep kind of the shape that I've got. Let's see here. And then I'm gonna refine it bit by bit. That's closer. And I guess, oh geez, I'm gonna roll that back. Do you think it looks good here and we should just do the tips? Let's try that out. Let's see if just that element is enough to... Let's see if just rotating the tips is enough to give the effect we want. I'm also going to load up your geometry in a bit because that'll help me understand what you're going for in your sculpt. All right, it's kind of check this out. I'm going to probably grab the underlying geometry as well. That's basically what we're talking about, I think. The tip should be out. I like that look, so let me get a better mask on it and we'll take a look. Oh no, I'm stuck in Photoshop. Get out of here. I thought I had my Twitch stream up. Where is it? There we go. Let's take a look at this Sketchfab. Get out of here, SteamVR. No one wants you. Okay. So you would place, this is the left ear or the right ear? I guess that would be the left ear. And you would put it, be like that. And you would put it on the character, basically. If it was looking straight ahead, you'd put it, and we were looking behind it, it'd be kind of like that. That kind of the idea. Kind of like that. Let's see here. And I'm going to download this guy. There we go. Pull this guy back up and give it a download. And hopefully we can get this in. You said you built it in Blender, right? So we'll just take a look at this. Oh man, that's a big model. Look at their auto-converted format. Which I have no idea if ZBrush can read or whatever, but whatever. We'll take a look at these guys. I'll let that download in the background. In the meantime, I'm going to kind of get it over here. I'll put it here. Here we go. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do it like that. So this is one over. Near. And now I can go back and forth and kind of reference what you're talking about. So it's already an OBJ. Perfect. So I'll let that download in the background, and we'll grab that in a second. Forget it. Let's grab it now. Let's see if it's probably out of gigabit. Should be fast. Let's grab it. Oh, not fast enough. Oh, it's going really slow. That's why. Okay. We will wait for it to download. Alrighty. So in the meantime, I'm going to start doing a comparison here. Alright. So I think I see what you're saying. Like this should be flat out, is what you're saying. Let's give it a shot. Let's see if I can figure out a good way to do that. Want more of that. Alright, that looks pretty good. What is it doing? There we go. It's kind of getting that concave there. The thing is, just the original Z-sculpt I did is just not set up for the geometry that we're talking about here. Though, I don't know. Maybe I can just. I'm gonna do something real fast. That's where it was before. And we did that. Let's see. All right. I'm gonna try to sculpt this instead of doing transformation to get it done. And we'll see what we can get. That's fine. Every time I fuck with this. I'm actually gonna just smooth these ears out so I have less crap to deal with. This is one of the only. Just nice and simple. I'm gonna get my brush a little smaller. And we're gonna get in here. And I'm just going to ignore the poly paint inside of the ear. Oh, damn you. The shell of this is too thin. Oh, my God. There we go. Every time with this. Is this one the one that was actually mirrored and welded? No, it's not. That's why this is all screwed up. Let's roll this all the way back to the open. I'll actually go do the mirror and weld. Do the retopology real fast. And getting rid of the poly paint's going to help me ignore everything else anyway. So here we are working on a better mesh. All right, let's see if this is done downloading. So I'm going to pull in the OBJ that created. You have to get it in as a subtool first, so. I didn't say it was an OBJ. Oh, that's another zip. That's what it did. Here we go. Let me put my pen. All right, here that ear dough. That looks nice. I like it. And I'm just gonna Z remesh it real fast so that it's a lower quality. So that's running now. Thank you very much for the asset. We're gonna see what we can do to get this guy going. And use some of the fun ZBrush retopology tools and mesh combining and all the other cool crap that it does. So that's running now. All right. Oops. We don't need two. I'm going to roll back that and turn off X symmetry. Yep, now it's off. And now we can run Z remesher. Let's try that again. One of the things I really like about the asset you've created here is that it's instantly recognizable with no context as a bat ear. Well, yeah, pretty much no context. I'd say that's a bat ear, or like a bat nose leaf if it was like super blown up. But like, yeah, that looks right to me, man. Let's get the poly frame. It's a little larger than I want. Lower res, high res. Okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna drop the poly count way down here to like 2, maybe 3. Just half this should be fine. Try it again. Still seems really high. It's probably because let's drop to 1. There we go. That's about the number of polygons that I want max. I wonder if I can get it even smaller than this. Run one more time, see what we got. Okay. So we're just talking about shape to start here. I'm do one more. All right, it looks pretty good. Because we're gonna add the less geometry we have here, the better. Because we're gonna be doing some combine operations and all that. Cool. Oh, let's drop back over here. No, not that one. 14, 8. Where were we? Where did we leave off? Wasn't this? I wish it listed like most recent tools. I'm sure we were in ZSphere 8. No. I lied. Surely it's ZSphere 10. Nope. What the heck tool were we just in? That's 9? I mean, I guess we can use this one. We're just going from the base. No, because we did it. All right, let me load something. I don't remember what tool we were in. I think we said that it might. So we have here 9, 10, 8. Maybe it's 12. Seems fairly legit. I remember it being purple at least. All right, this works for me. Though I thought whatever. Moving forward. Turn off the poly frame here. And I'm going to show the entire model because we're going to need to do that. I guess what I want to do, I might do the delete hidden here and then fill holes. So I'm just going to grab this and then I'm going to clear this out. Drag dot. Oh, whoa. So I switch this and then show the whole model and then go to visibility. I think I can do it from just from geometry, whatever. Oop. Flip it, hide it, geometry. And delete hidden. I think that's where this is. Yeah, delete hidden. There we go. All right, so the holes are closed on that guy now. We've got the top of that mesh. I'm going to roll that back, and I'm going to delete lower instead. Close the holes. What the heck? How you do that? I guess the old way I did it before was better. Oh, maybe I didn't delete hidden. There we go. Delete lower, delete hidden, close holes. Looks good to me. All right, let's drop in your mesh. So we're going to position them first. We're going to get the scale where we want. Looks good. Oh, I don't know where this has my models anymore. So let's get these how we want. Maybe like that. So I vote this is left ear. Well, my left. Screen left. I'm going to put you right about there. And I think I'm going to rotate this like you suggested. Something like right about there, maybe? Is this kind of the angle we're looking for the visualization on the face? And then I'm going to scale it up so that it matches the process we were talking about before. And he's going to be very big-eared bad if we do that. So that's the zygomatic process is right about here on this character. The jawbone's right about there. And that would be accurate for a little brown bat, you know? It would be about that size on a bat. But I think we're gonna scale it down just a little bit. But yeah, man, I think that's I think this is a good start. I'll rotate this a little bit. Kind of play with this a little bit and get an idea. This is basically what we're talking about. It's going like right about here, and then zygomatics right there, so kind of go down like right here. I basically think, so that's zygomatic. I'll drop you right there. Make you a little different, something like that. And I'm gonna make go kind of like, yeah, this is an issue with rotation. I'm just playing around with this right now, thinking about the shape and the size and the position, and because like from here it looks pretty good. From here it's a little too much. So let's see what we can figure out here. Let's see what we can figure out. Get this guy like, we're talking about the jawbone kind of ending right about here. Yeah, I like that. And this part can go up a little bit. Zygomatic would be right about there. Ooh. Ooh. Still a little bigger than I want, but I'm going to move it around a little. But I think we're in the right shape. That's looking pretty good, dude. Thank you. Get here. There we go. Let's just look at this. I kind of flatten his ears back against his head a little bit and kind of just play with how the character looks. It's looking kind of cool. I'm trying to just play with the shape, make it a little more elf-like, which would be cool. I'm also thinking that that looks kind of like a lobe, and I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't want it looking like an earlobe, so I'm gonna play with that. And that's just because the way I moved things around. I think that's how you had it. It's the way it's just colliding with the mesh. It's looking good though. I think we're gonna get some good stuff out of this. So I'm gonna move this into here. I'll move forward a little. And then we can meld that pretty easily into the base mesh. How does that look on the back? We can kind of start. And we'll just move that into there. I think that'll look good. And I'm going to look at some of my other artist references that I have. And we got this guy. And I want to look at what you had originally too, just to make sure I'm kind of staying true to how we want to do that. Okay, cool. So I'm going to drop this. Just go on there. So I didn't know if I have all of this in here. But yeah, I think I kind of know what I want to do here now as I bring this together in this model. Kind of just looking for the shapes I want to make with this. All right. So I'm gonna, now we gotta mirror this over. Duplicate. Though I suppose since we're doing X symmetry stuff and we're gonna want these models to be good, I might just do the combine and then, yeah, I think I'll do that. So, in order to do that, the way to do this, and I'm just gonna guess at how to do this, based on my knowledge of kind of how ZBrush works. And let's see if we can do this. So it's gonna be, I believe, maybe I want a Dynamesh first. Nah, I think if I, yeah, no, I do want to, yeah, I do want a Dynamesh because I want it to be additive, and then, yeah, cool. Move this guy up, do this guy, Geo, Dynamesh, Dynamesh. I'll clear my mask, Dynamesh. Hey, mask is cleared. What you talking, Willis? I'm in this. I have a mask, and then I don't have a mask. So Geo Dynamesh. And then I can do the same thing over here. Subtool, this dude, Geo Dynamesh. All right. And now I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to merge down. There's our 2 poly groups. And now we can go to geometry. I think it's just the union add. Maybe the union, no. Add. Let's give it a shot. It still says there's 2 poly groups here. Is there stuff inside? Oh, maybe it's just, yeah, I think it's just different poly groups. Because if we hide this, there should be nothing in it, right? I don't see anything inside of it. Maybe I did the search wrong, though. Oop, that's the wrong button. All right. Oh, I'm gonna turn off XSim. Get here. I don't see anything inside, so I think it's fine. All right. So now, looking at that polyframe, it's all dynameshy, so I don't want that. I'm going to use our Z remesher. I'm going to use all of this on target count 5. I'm going to turn on X symmetry and hope that this is aligned correctly. We'll find out. I think this one still needs to be mirrored and welded. Yeah, so I am going to flip my model around real fast because I did reverse it earlier. I guess X symmetry was already off. No, the keyboard's not on. Nope, keyboard wasn't on. Here we go. There we go. It's rotated now. We should be able to use it and it should work now. Remeshing. Oh, I forgot to turn on XSim. Gosh darn it. X symmetry is now back on. Run ZMesher one more time. Hey, buddy. There we go. And now we're going to mirror and weld. Make sure that all still looks good. Because he's a little wide. I wonder why he's a little wide. Does everything else look wide too, or is it just the face? Oh god, what is my tail? Or that's just a random thing down there. That's okay. Let's check our mirror symmetry here. Yeah, looks fine. Though I suppose we should have, before we did that. So now you're here. I'm going to mirror and weld it now, because I think it's off now. Oh, jeez. Yep, this is why it mirrored weird. Get this at least remotely aligned. Gosh darn it, I'm gonna have to switch back and forth between that. If that's the center point, almost there. That looks pretty accurate. Let's mirror and weld. Oh, I could have just done that. Durr. Gosh. All right. Now we'll do our retopology. Yeah, buddy. That looks great. And now, yeah, I'm already liking this character quite a bit. I love it. Looks nice. So let's talk about some of the things that we were going to do now that we have a base geometry that we're so much happier with to get this guy where we want. So I'm going to start with a divide. Drop back down to lower res. Actually, what am I talking about? Let's get the high res. I'm going to go up here. So I think I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to start sculpting it in. I mean, that's basically where I want it, is what I'm thinking. Pretty bat-like. All right. So one of the other things we wanted to do with this was move the jaw up, which means I want to see more of the neck. Maybe even more than that, actually, because I want to align everything to the base of the sternum. Sorry, to the solar plexus. I want the chin to be right here, so to speak. So let's go do all those changes now. All right, there's our armless bust. Let's see if we can make some more changes to that base geometry. So this is about where we want the base of the skull to end. Kind of a longer face in the character, and that's looking really awesome. Liking that, and we'll fix the neck. Kind of get a more pronounced deltoid and tendons in the neck and all those things. So there's that. And if we go back to our geometry study, which is in Photoshop land, we're talking about doing that and kind of getting, so that would be a human character, and where was it? This layer. We'll find it. Because you guys saw the problems they're having before. These guys just weren't looking right. Get these. There it is. So we were saying that we wanted to be like right, not at the base of the solar plexus, which would be like right here, but it's a little out. So let's see if we did that. Let's see, this tip of the nose. We're a little further out, so I'm actually going to cheat and draw it myself. And we'll move it. Let's see where we got there. So if that's the base of the solar plexus and that's the neck, maybe like I want to get like the root of the skull. And we also were talking about getting the neck, the chest lower as well. We're gonna get there. We're gonna do that in a minute. Let's see. Actually, we said we were going to go here. Not to the base, but to the... just a little out beyond it. So that looks pretty good to me. It's about right there. Maybe a little more. Actually, I don't want to move this. This should be right here. So I'm going to move this back just a little bit. Yeah, that looks nice. I'm pretty happy with that. Then we talked about moving the chin lower, which at this point, now the model, the head is actually where I want. Pop off XM real quick. Let's just grab the head. All of it. And we'll just move it down. And that one, we said we wanted to move it lower. So I'm going to just start... Oh wait, no, not what I want to do. So maybe we want to move it like to the chin's right about there. So let's do that. Oh, probably unmask this a little bit. Nice and blended. I did that about 10 times. So there's our shorter neck. Oh, but I don't want to move it from the solar plexus position. Just do that there. That's only going to do it in the axis direction I want. When I snap it, oh well. I'll just be careful. We'll do little modifications at a time. Looks good. And then from the base, looks good. And then we wanted the net. There's the base of the chest. Let's go back to our anatomy study. And we said we wanted about here. Okay. Yeah, I'm down. I am down. Let's see where we're at over here. Yeah. Look at this guy. All right. We're going to get into some more secondary details in a second. I mean, if we look at our heroic features, though, let's see. Let's look at him in comparison to the rest of the mesh. I think his head's a little small, just in general. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe just a teeny bit. My first impression is that the head's too small. Like 20 times blended there. I'm just gonna... Let's see what we can do here. I mean, obviously I'm doing this wrong, so I'm just kind of getting an idea of... I may as well do it right, though. I mean, like, when do I... So let's go from way too big to way too small. All right, that's too small. So where is too big? I'm trying to just get a natural gauge. Because my hand is about the size of my face. So that's one of the other metrics we can use there. Just looking back and forth between the hands and the face. Let's see where we are there. I also want to see how much we adjusted it. Yeah, I did make it bigger when I did that test. So that looks more legit. Yeah, I'm more happy with that, certainly. And let's see where it is in the chin. Closed palm, fist. I have a little bit of a neck, so okay. I might think is the neck's a little short now that we've kind of made the head bigger. So the neck was right there, now it's a little wrong, so I'm just gonna move the head up after we make it bigger. Ooh, I can like flatten it. That's cool. That's not what I want to do. I'm in scale. Just move it up a little bit. So if that's too short, it should be right about here. Let's see what I did. Yep, I moved it up. That's what I thought I did. Cool. The neck is a 3 vertebrae tail. Yep, it's time to get the anatomy book and see if we can draw. See if we can get this right. So the neck has 7 vertebrae. C3, C4, C5, C6, C7. Well, C1 through C7. And then, let's see here. How much does... And I'm looking at an image here which shows lateral flexion, rotation, and flexion and extension. I'm going to count the number of vertebrae they're showing here. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So for the sake of showing you guys what I'm talking about here, let's take a look. So with this, with that particular look, this book's showing it as 7. So the neck, maybe you're saying that my neck's 3 vertebrae tall on this one, but the neck should be 7 vertebrae according to the deal here. I'm trying to think of another, because we're talking about proportion, so I'm trying to think of the different things on the rest of the character we can compare to kind of make sure that we've got it right. So I'm going to use 7 for this, for kind of thinking of 7 vertebrae. And then I'm going to kind of consider how we can look at it. So one way to do that, of course, would just be to draw out that anatomy. And I'm going to do it in kind of a perspective view here. So the tailbone's there. Also, I notice the position of the tail now doesn't make any damn sense on this character. It's just more like I put a Rottweiler butt on a character. So let's work on that. Even if he's going to have a kind of a fluffy lifted tail, I should draw a spine that makes sense to support that. So I'm going to get my perspective view. I'm going to take a quick screenshot and we're going to bust it over on into Photoshop. Use your thumb as a measurement for 1 vertebrae. Nice. That can be used here because we've got a thumb and we can use it to kind of push out the rest of the character, make sure the proportions make sense. So very, very, very good call there. I'm going to go ahead and take my screenshot and we'll get over into Photoshop. Wake up, mouse. Looks good. Over into Photoshop. And let's go. So start up here. That used to work. Nope, doesn't work anymore though. I like to be able to use rotate. I wonder why. No, rotate doesn't work anymore. I wonder why. All right, so there's the skull. There's the mandible. It's going to come up here. Go back to the skull page real quick. I'm going to bookmark this, page 28. Remember that for me. Let's take a look at the skull. Maybe they have a nice image of the skull connecting to the neck too. Oh yeah, here we go. Same page. Just right in the top corner. So I'm going to look at this real quick. So the mandible, the distance between the mandible and the mastoid process, and looking at C1, it's about the length of 2 molars, like in the back of your mouth. So I'm going to keep that in mind. So really, the neck is, so let's draw the base of the skull. Okay. We're going to ignore that crap on the top. There's this. There's this mandible. That's looking good. And then I kind of want to grab more of the skull. So now I got that. All right, this is giving me some nice bones of the skull. All right. Study this for a second. I'm just reading all these parts and seeing what I want to think about. Kind of just make the indent here, just kind of get an idea. I'll just start mocking it out. I'm gonna draw it on a new layer though. So here's C1. C1's gonna be right here basically. Okay, there's maybe a different color. Do like a blue or something. There's C1. And then here's C2. I'm already making these too big because I think C7. I'm gonna see where this lines up. The rib cage, whole spine here. I want to see which of these vertebrae line up interior to the first, the rib cage bone that's under the clavicle. What is that called? Well, I guess it's just the first rib, first of the 12 ribs. Oh, there it is, C7. So it's at C7. So I'm just going to block these out real fast, just to get started. And I'm going to draw going into the thorax. I'm going to draw the clavicle and the scapula, and the clavicle and the scapula. So I'm going to rough these out. There's the clavicle. There's the scapula, right? Scapula connected to the clavicle. Something like that, right? There's our clavicle. Kind of not doing that exactly how I like. So right there's that, and so right around, and I guess I'll just kind of block in the spine. So here's all the T vertebrae. They're just gonna exist there. And then, so somewhere in between, I'm gonna say C1 is here. So in between here and here are 7 vertebrae. So here's 1, here's 7. All right, so let's draw that out. I'm just gonna kind of go like this. There's gonna be kind of a curve of the spine. Flip back to the cervical and thoracic vertebra. All right, we got 7 of these guys. So there's, oh, damn you. I just wanted you to be a little lighter. All right, which one of these buttons is shift on this? I still forgot. I still don't have a shift on anywhere on here. Oh, hold on my keyboard. I've really got to reprogram my Wacom tablet for Photoshop. All right, so there's 1. There's 7. So then right around here is 3 and 4, which means that this is 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I did that wrong. Where's my history? One of these was step back. That one. All right, so there's 1, 7. So I've got to pick 3 or 4. So I'm going to pick 4. There's 4. There's 3. There's 2. There's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Damn it. So let's block that 1. No, I did it wrong. Those are kind of the intervals between them. Get out here. So 1, 2. I guess I'm blocking out the spaces between those. So what I really should do is this. There's 7. So oh yeah, I'll think of it as the top. That makes sense to me. All right. All right, 1, 7, and then I'm drawing the top of the vertebrae. So this is the top of the vertebrae, and this is the top of the vertebrae. 1, 7. So 1. This will be 4. This will be 3. This will be 2. This will be 6. 7, 6. 5, 4. 3, 2, 1, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. God, I'm so bad at this. Not good at this. I'm just going to draw them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So does that look right? I need a comparison of the, and I have this in my book, so I can find it. I just need to see something to compare it to, like the total skull. I'll look for a picture of the entire human skeleton, and that'll tell me. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. God, I probably should have just done an anterior view. All right. So there's that. It looks like if you look at a straight back view, the jaw, the bottom of the mandible, contains the 1. So there's the 7. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So the first 3 vertebrae, right, on this plane, I'll say the plane is from here to here, right? So this is where the bottom of the mandible is if we project back, right? So there's this one kind of going here. There's this one, whatever, you get it. You get it. So that's where C3 should be, because it should be at the base of the mandible. So if that's 3 and that's 7, then we know that this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, base of the skull. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, I did it. So in this view, that looks good, but the more and more I think about this, the more I want to, I'm going to save this too. That's helpful. I'm going to mock up the entire character and we'll draw the skeleton on it. Like this. And we'll just get the whole guy in here and we'll start making sure our proportions make sense, not just visual tricks. Visual trickery. Get out of here. Get out. Get out. So we'll look at this. This is the back. Whatever, roll this forward. There we go. I'll have to correct whatever I did there. All right. Screenshot. And I'm going to prep you like that. Pasty paste. And then I'll move you over here. Let's get these guys lined up. Looks good to me. All right. Oh, I didn't want the front view, though I guess that's okay. I can do the front view too. I also wanted a side view. We'll get the skeleton on this guy. And instead of drawing it, as fun as that would be, I'm literally just going to grab an image from... I'm going to grab an image here. All right, there's our character, all lined up. All right, so here's this. Let's grab that image that I know exists somewhere. The side view as well. It's in scale. We just got to look for long enough. I might just take an image with my phone or something. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's immediately doing it. I'm gonna... Oh, but my phone's in use. I don't want to do that. Maybe it interpreted the word front side as not front and side. I guess the front doesn't matter. We'll use a nice front and back. Here's this one. That one looks nice and high res as well. Cool. And I'm going to split these up. So let's get this guy scaled first. Oh, come on, you. And this guy is showing the feet kind of dangling down, so I'm going to just do it to the base of the ankle because I have this extremely plantar stance at the moment. And I also made my guy a little short on purpose. The character is supposed to be a little short, so I'm going to squish him down just a teeny bit. Just a teeny bit. Some people are short. Alright, that looks about right for me. So I'm going to split this up now. Put him over here. And I'm going to do some manipulation with the lasso tool. Where'd my pen go? Same place it always is. grab my lasso. I'm gonna just use a regular old lasso. Yeah, looks good. Meep. Because I have this guy posed in kind of an interesting way. I'll probably use this as a guide reference next time. Everything we learn every day. That doesn't make any sense. Let's not do that. I'm just going to move it out a little. Whatever. I'm going to leave it. His knees are a little far apart, but it's fine. Deal with that later. Deal with the bottom of the mesh later. So let's get this guy aligned now. All right, we can see here where we can improve the process, the iliac crest and everything else. But let's do this. I'm going to set that to multiply. Commit my move, multiply. I'm going to leave it on at 100% opacity. And this should give us a good idea of where we're at. Oh yeah, they're also reversed because I'm dumb. Get out of here, all-inclusive search. No one cares. Not histogram, history. So you belong over here. And you belong over here. Now I can line them up. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that this bottom of the jaw is what's lined up here. But I can't really see that from this view because back the character's head's really wide. Another thing that we can learn here. Alright, I'm going to get them lined up in the center. It's also telling me the character's kind of out of alignment. Because certain parts line up good and others don't. Like the iliac crest, the bend of the stomach and all that. We'll take all that into account in a second. Let's again focus just on the neck. Yeah, I'd love to see that reference, Sage Ice Claw. Could be fun to see. So I'm gonna get this guy kind of lined up. Wait, I did have those right. I was just being stupid. Damn it. Oh well. Okay, that's the front. This is the back. What? No, not both of you, just one of you. No, stop. Why are you grabbing both of these? There's front. There's back. Oh, it's because this moved. That's why. Alright. Oh, gosh, that's stupid of me. Alright. So I'm going to line you here. There's the skull. And we notice that the tail is totally out of position, right? Like, there's a ton of things we can do now to correct this model. All right. Yeah, man. All right. I think the neck is good where it's at. And now I can say that definitively because there's the bottom of the chin. Right? There's the scapula. Clavicle, excuse me. It's the center of the character. Well, hey, this guy's off. I mean, he's not like perfectly symmetrical. Whatever. We'll just kind of average it. We are allowed to be perfectly symmetrical because we're a 3D model. And we'll add all that stuff over it. What I will do with this, I am going to pose the arms a little because this will be useful to have later. grab this bone. What? What did that do? Just deleted it? Out of what the hell? Okay, deselect. Just lasso it again. Jeez, guys. All right. So bad at mouse. Oh man, I'm just gonna do it one at a time. Oh man, I'm so bad at mouse. All right. Getting this put together. Yeah, whatever. That's close enough. I just wanted to see what we look like here. Yeah, man. I'm down. Looks good. So yeah, so what I was saying before I started really focusing there, we can prove here that this looks good. You know, the scapula and the clavicle in the right place. The base of the mandible's in the right place. The number of neck vertebrae are there. We can see that translated here and matching here. So what we can do is notice some other things that we probably want to do with the character. But this is lined up pretty good, and I basically did this freehand. I was just referencing kind of the shape of the character, so I wasn't doing a skinned. There's a French word for this. It's called like écoutré or something, but it's like the idea is it means skinned. I was not doing a skinned sculpt. I kind of fast forwarded my progress and I just did a reference sculpt from that. So I'm kind of proud of the fact that it didn't end up too bad. Cool. All right, I'm gonna save this. Love it. Excellent suggestion. I'm going to take a look at the chat real quick. And we'll take a look at these images that Sage Iceclaw sent us. Kind of looking at the models here. Tail start. Oh, nice job, dude. Looks cool. Nice art, dude. Loving it. Loving it, man. Very cool. So, we're gonna, yeah, I'll definitely, these are all very helpful. I'm gonna bookmark all these. Very nice, man. Cool. Thank you for the contribution. Very awesome. So, back to, you know, just taking time to think about and study these things is just really important for making realistic, believable, anthropomorphic characters in a style that we really haven't seen. Of course, you know, Zootopia was, you know, these were still Disney tunes, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to make it more, you know, maybe not photorealistic, but, you know, less toony, certainly. So, yeah, let's what did we learn? So I also want to see what time it is here. All right, got plenty of time. So, I think what we learned here is that the neck's in the right place. There's going to be things we want to do in the rest of the model. And now that I'm happy with proportion and placement and all of those things, let's get into the sculpt. The thing we've all been waiting for. La-dee-da. Euro is so good. Listening to ridiculous cheesy Euro from the Nandies. Because I'm totally all about that. All right. I'm on the right subtool. That looks fine. Let's get into doing the face. The thing that I'm so concerned about. I'm going to get perspective on. And I'm going to line up this, which is the reference art that I'm digging and that I've kind of already topologized in my head and that I've been using. So I'm going to, before I drop that, I'm going to drop an eyeball in here. And I'm going to position it where I want it to be. And I'm going to model on the left this time so I don't have to switch it later. And we've also, I'm wondering if my anatomy book will give me any advice on what size to make the eye. Because it does the brain and the heart and the lungs and all these other things too. So I'm going to see if I can find a nice image that'll tell us about the eye. Hey look, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Sure, that's just what every page in this book says. Right, there's, wow, that is, I am no med student. Come on, I don't know why I'm looking at every page of this. This thing has an index. One-page anatomy book. It says mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It's broken up by system. What system is the eye in? Cells and tissues, skeletal, articular, endocrine system, reproductive system, urinary system, digestive system. I guess I bet it's part of the central nervous system. Not really. What would you call your eye? Oh, it's a special sense. Special 95. Hey, look, it's the eye. And how the eye communicates with the brain. Maybe nothing that'll tell me the size. And I think I saw in the chat that people are saying that. Yeah, we're not. I don't know why I'm trying to get so into that part of it. It's just should be 3/4 the size of the socket. That's pretty easy advice to follow. Let's draw it out in Photoshop so we can have a reference point on our model. And we're going to ignore some of the human aspects because this character's, well, I don't know, are we? Are we going to ignore some of those things? I don't know. So let's think about the face of the character here. We can kind of go in a median and say that the jaw is going to end right about there. We can say that the nose is like on the bat sculpt that we did before. On the bat nose cavity stuff that we did. Let's find the bat skull. Finding the bat skull. You had a nice big one here. Here it is. There's the nice big one that we had. So its eyes are a little bigger than a human eye, I would definitely say. Its nose, maybe even a little smaller, that cavity. But this is a fruit bat, and we want to kind of go between a hybrid between a fruit bat and a vampire bat, just so it's a very easily recognizable as a bat, I guess. I want to get some big canines in there, and we want to, yeah, okay. So I'm getting an idea for what I want to do there. So I'm going to get that there, get this here. So he can have rounder eyes because they're going to, I don't know if I want to do the bulge thing. I'm going to keep the eyes fairly human. I'm going to change the shape of the nose though. So the nose is going to be up here, and it's going to go down instead of up like a human nose. All right, so there's that. And you've got this big sweeping zygomatic process here, which means I'm going to move the eyes up just a little bit, I think. So there's the connection of the mandible sweeping out from the zygomatic process, which means that's behind there. So I'm going to do the eyes maybe up here and a little out. Something like right there. Right there. And then that'll go down. Down and around. We'll do the weepy eye thing. I don't know, something like that. And we've got the teeth. Mandible. I'm kind of looking at a character here. And the sweeping zygomatic will let us kind of lengthen the skull, and we'll kind of make that peak that we have there on the bat skull. Got that cool little dorsal thing going on there. It's kind of interesting. We'll probably want that on the final character. We've got little pointy bits on the zygomatic, which I like. So let's zoom out. Kind of take a look at this. Yeah, I guess we could save it. That's not the button I want. What? Really? Just refresh it. Okay, thank you, Photoshop. Very nice. So what I'm thinking is that we've got to have a reference for how big the eyes are. So let's say if this is the top of the socket, this is the bottom of the socket, this is the side of the socket. I can just line this up with visual inspection points on the geometry, and I can even do a poly paint to make sure I got what I want. So there's the eyes. Because we're going to make the socket first, then we're going to put the eye in it, if that makes sense. Going back to our original question. So let's find some points here. So right at the bend of the ear, right here, right where the ear bends, and how can I find the bottom easily? Well, now they got the guides gone, or sorry, now they got the guides in to show where the eyes are. I'm going to go to our layers here. There we go. So that's where the eye is supposed to be. I wonder if I can find something, anything. Ah, there we go. So I can see the nose here. So the other thing we're gonna add, the other poly paint we're gonna add here. So this one, we're gonna add one here. Right? That's that's that. We can use this line to figure that out. And where it ends, so we're gonna go in a little bit before the bridge of the nose, and we're gonna go just where kind of that nostril might start, and that's how we're gonna find the shape of the eye relative to the skull geometry that we want. I think that makes sense. So let's poly paint that in. So I'm gonna ignore the eye for now. I'm gonna get my secondary color out. I'm gonna make it black. So here was that bend of that ear. It's our starting point. Except I just want to do RGB. Okay, that's one way to do it. RGB it. Oh, it's my geo is really low. That's why. Let's look at our geometry real fast. Did that never get remeshed into a Z mesh? I guess I never did that. So let's hit geometry. Let's do the Z remesher. I probably did the mirror and weld and forgot to do the Z remesher. So that's cranking now. Looking good. Indeedy do. Zoom in on this, make sure that I did the mirror and weld, in fact. What the hell? I mean, they're gonna... No. What? I guess I didn't do the mirror and weld. So I'll do it here real fast. I thought I did that. Guess I didn't. Guess I must have got distracted and caught up in something else. Yay, look at you. So let's get some subdivisions in here. Get out. What the? Did I? What did I do there? It's just really weird. So when I do this, that's fine. And when I do this, you're still meshed, right? Yeah, okay, we're good. Really weird. I was wondering why I did that. So I'm going to divide it again. Is there a reason that this poly paint isn't updating? There we go. So now we're back at about around 220,000 pixels, or points. And we can start our sculpt. And before we were talking about like, hey, like the jaw is weird, or the jaw doesn't have enough geometry, but I'm actually, now that we've looked at that skull reference, I think we know that we're good. There was just the rest of the model was so thrown by the lack of proportion that we couldn't make those statements. So, all right, poly paint time. We were talking before about the bend of the ear. It happens right about here. And what was our... I'm going to export that Photoshop so I can snap back and forth really quick. Actually, I'll just screenshot it. It'll be just as easy. And I'll just open an image editor. Now we're out of Photoshop. whatever. Here we are. I need to go crazy with this. Bend of the ear, and then it looks like we're... Where was I? 1, 2. Okay. So the bend of the ear, that's where our y-axis is, and our x-axis is just a little bit before that. So I'm going to say it's a little bit before that, right? Right about here is that x. And right about there is that y. So there's going to be the first place where we drop that in. Right there. So there's dot number 1. Dot number 2 is going to come down here. So just right before the ear starts to bend. So like right, I'm going to say right here. So let's look at that again. So just under the nose. Oh yeah, because this got warped around a little bit when I did all that. So the base of the nose was like right there, right? That's where we want the eye socket to be, is right around there. Draw that in there. Nope, not too far, too far. And then this one will be just where the nose kind of goes in. And this one will be down here. And that's how I'm going to draw the guide in this perspective. So I want it to kind of fill that box, is the idea. So let's get our inflate brush. I'm going to get it up to the right brush size here. This looks about right. So I'm going to smash this guy in right here. I'll just create that eye socket. And it'll give us kind of the impression of what we want. All right, guys, what do you think of that? For being the eye socket. How does that look? And it should be 1/3 size of the socket. And we'll kind of bring this around because I think I'm going to make this a little, right? We'll kind of go like that basically to make it fill in, because these I want it to be like the extreme points. So I'm curious what you guys think about that, how that looks. I'm going to check some things here. All right. Looking good. And I bet we could do a similar proportion test with this character, because I do like the look of this character. And I want to just see if we can... Actually, I bet the smartest thing to do, because we're trying to make it our own as well. I'm going to get the mouse marker out of the way real fast. I'm going to put this in our Photoshop real fast. Just going to scale these. Just kind of lined up. That's probably easier. Just do the opacity. I think somewhere in that transform process I forgot to hold down shift. Didn't want to mess up the... Because this character is going to have a slightly different shape because I retopologized it. I just want to get it about even. It looks about even to me. And move it up a little. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, let's see how we did with our own rules that we've been creating. So I said that this should be a little higher, and I'm going to get rid of these guys. Be passing this to 100. I'm going to get my skull back. Which I think is this one. Nope, I'm dumb. There we go. All right, so I'm going to get the opacity down a little there. I mean, that's not bad. I'm going to get it on normal. See how we did. So his are a little lower, but we were going to do stuff with the nose, so we did say we wanted to move it higher, which I think we did in this sketch right there. So I'm going to get the opacity on down a little. Really what I want to see is it does it line up to my sketch now. Yeah, hey, that strategy seemed to work pretty good. It lines up with our sketch. I like that. That's pretty cool. Oh, the things we learn. Yeah, all of you can go. Thank you. Every one of you. All right, so I'm happy with the way those eye sockets look. Let's finally get our eyeball in there, which was way too small. Oops. And it should be 3/4 the size of the socket. Which maybe it was the right size, who knows. So I'm going to put it in the socket. I also might do a corneal kind of process. It seems legit. Maybe a little bigger. Like that. That's perfect right there. Alright, let's ghost it. That doesn't actually help me. I don't know if I'm filling the socket or not. I guess I want to look at it from back here. I guess there's not really going to be a good way to tell other than just to pay attention. So if that's 100%, if that's 100% the size of the socket, I want it to be just a little smaller. That's probably a good idea. That's probably a good way to do it. I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to shift move it on the x-axis to the other part here. And I'm just going to kind of make sure everything lines up. I wonder if there's just a way to X mirror it. Oh, there is. I think it's under geometry. And we'll turn on X. Because that's that center point. It should know exactly where to do it. I guess I'll just do Z remesher. Keep my X on and do it. Will that work? Will it just pop open two of them? Yeah, buddy. Yes, it does. And then I don't have to freaking worry about it ever. And I can even do the corneal process like I want. Just kind of bloop, which is not what it's supposed to look like. Look at the brush size down here. Hey, look. The cornea. Obviously. What the hell? Oh, I guess I screwed that up at some point. Oh. Well, now it's fixed. I'll just do a little inflatoroo. That's, I mean... I'm just gonna make my brush size a little bigger. Okay, I guess I can get a little more aggressive with it. I mean, I'm going to just move it back a little and we'll be fine. I probably could use like a actual model of something. Oh God, what am I doing? I'm not going to worry about this right now. If I want to model this like that, I will do so at some point. But this is such a tertiary detail to get caught up in. Yeah, I'm not worrying about it at all. We're going to use bubbles for the eyes. Those are fine. Bubble eye is fine. They're perfectly Z transform or X transformed on that axis. So I'm happy. I can start sculpting as far as I'm concerned. I'm gonna get my alt color here and clear these guys since they have their usefulness is resolved. And let's sculpt for the first time in 2 hours. Do actual sculptings. Cool. I'm excited. I'm trying to line it up with the view that I want. Which is this one here. All right. My focal shift a little different there. Just do 0. Tubes time. Where do I want to start? I'm going to start by making the eyes finished. Why am I not affecting? Oh yeah, derp derp. And now we sculpt. And I'm already breaking some of my rules by not moving around. Can't just sit here and look at one perspective. That's not how this works. And we also said we wanted last time to kind of angle the nose back a little bit. So we're going to keep that in mind as we do the skull. Think of the skull, that is. And we said that it was going to be kind of a triangle shape. Right, like that. So if we draw out kind of do that crochet process or whatever it's called, I'll have to go look at my ZBrush book to remember what the sculpting term is. Right, but that's kind of the idea. So we're going to draw out the cavity of the nostril, and then we'll build into it basically. I'll probably just do it now. There we go. That's where the nose is going to be. It's going to be all flat like. We want it to be kind of angled back. Gonna do the bridge of the nose here, start thinking about those shapes. Also want to start bringing this out. Ooh, I'm loving this character so far. I'm really liking this character. This is friggin' cool. Always feels good when all that hard work starts to come together. Start getting some more meat over here. I'm going to start looking at that heavy zygomatic process. Is it called the zygomatic process or just the zygomatic? I don't remember. I don't remember why zygomatic process is something that keeps sticking in my head. But I'm going to start modeling that out. Nice. And we can start thinking about the bone here. I'm going to go back to that anatomy study we did. Just kind of remind me of what we're up to and why. I'm going to need my layers. What's the button I'm supposed to press? I think it's tab. Whatever. I just want to reintegrate this with this. Oh, that's easy. Okay. And then I can go to my window, layers, get rid of some of the stuff we don't want. I'm going to hide my guides. All right, let's take a look at this. Because this is where I'm looking, is right here in the side view. I thought I did one that talked about this. I guess we were just talking about shape and things there. I don't know if I did one that there. I think this was it. I think this was kind of the one that I wanted to look at here. So we talked a little. No, I guess that's whatever. I'm good. So this will be my reference again. See if we can get some of those characteristics that make that character so lifelike in there. I really liked what we had going on with the zygomatic on the skull of that bat we were looking at. I'm going to start grabbing. All right, mandible. So I'm going to add a lot more here. Because it's got to, first of all, it's got to match, right? So that's something. So let's draw out the shape of that mandible. And we can start continuing to draw the mandible bone that we're thinking about here, and that's going to come up here, and it's going to go there. Just kind of making that Y shape that we've talked about in previous streams. Just kind of getting an idea, getting oriented in my 3D space. So I do all this. Emphasize that Y shape. Get kind of a baseline for the teeth. Kind of get an idea where those are going to be. I'm just smoothing out some of these details so I don't get super distracted by them. Excuse me. All right. Teeth can start to come up. And to do the interior, I'm going to jump into this mesh here, like so. I'm going to hide those eyes, which is so smart that we did those that way. Take a look here. Got this kind of blocked out. Roll that back. Sure my video's lined up too. Yep, I'm looking good. You guys can still see me and everything still looks good there. Very cool. Keep rolling. Look at the top. Oh yeah, probably need to travel back up here. Just need to re-lasso it. Is that enough geo there? Clear that out. So where's the back of the mouth? It's pretty far back. There we go. And then I'll hide what I don't want. Booted boop. Yeah, I knew I didn't grab enough there. Build the teeth out. Okay. Looks good. I'm gonna add kind of placeholders for the canines. Even though we're not at that geometry step yet, this is still very... And I'll just do a little trimming here. I just want to remember to do them. Not that I'll like forget or anything, but I kind of just want to see it for the shape of the character. And this is where we'll add whatever's going to pass for lips on this character. Kind of remember to do that as well. And we're going to have some teeth and all that. All right, let's take a look. Ooh, you spooky. I didn't like that. Go back to our low poly. We'll address that in a minute. Oh god, he's kind of spooky. Kind of looks like a fish man at the moment with those lips. Continue him down here. You gotta remember he's like a skinned cat at the moment. Skinned cat. Like a Siamese cat at the moment, so even just adding eyeballs in there makes him look less undead. Yeah, we got all these bumps and stuff here. Alright, so let's fill this in a little bit. It looks a little gaunt. That's one of the reasons that I freaked out a little bit. And then this, that needs to be flattened, because even just going back here, right? So let's get our flatten. How exciting. Starting to make some of the shapes that we're wanting to see. Get my Z intensity up a little bit. Stop making exactly what I want. So I want to flatten this guy out here. And I think I'm gonna indent in here to show the zygomatic detail that we're looking for there. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Kind of smush down the jaw a little bit here to support the hollowed out cheeks that we're kind of making here. Add additional detail to the shadow that we're going to see there. Also, we talked about, while we're doing all this, we talked about kind of making that dorsal peak that we saw in the bat skull, which we decided that we liked. So I'm using the flatten tool to kind of bang that out. I'll probably have it taper off about there. So getting those details in there. I'm liking it. Probably gonna go back to clay tubes here in a second. Running out of things to do with flatten. Kind of. Not entirely. I'm also probably want to add the nose leaf, because this character, it just ain't looking right without a nose. Not at all. Keep pushing this neck back a little bit. And Buddy is allowed to be gaunt, because he's going to be covered in that real-time fur that we are creating. Also, just for the sake of, whatever, I'll deal with that later. I was going to say I might want to pose the mouth a little bit so I don't start accidentally modeling a scary character, which is not the goal. You should be kind of friendly, just a little bit. Alright, let's smash this here. I don't want it to be too pointy. Just a little, not too much. It's a hybrid, not a hybrid? I don't know. Bust this back here a little bit. Start paying a little more attention to the back of the head. I'll brush size up a little bit. Kind of creating the illusion of a neck here. a little more going on back in the cranium. God, he looks like a fish. We'll fix that. I still think the back of the head's huge. Back of the head feels super huge. Have a smaller head or it won't be cute. I'm going to compare this to the rest of the body in a minute. It should be pretty easy to dial back if I royally screwed anything up. I already know I screwed something up. So I've decided I made the neck really thin, I think. Alright, I'm going to dial it back. Let's see where we're at with this character. Maybe not. What up, Alpha? Or Laffa? Laffa? What up, dude? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for popping in. For the last couple hours, we've been working on remeshing a character and getting closer to a more believable sculpt. Some of the illusions that we were using in the previous sculpt, which we'll look at here. This is the original sculpt, and we were kind of doing some analysis of how we need to move it around to make it more believable. We kind of did a little study on how long the neck should be using anatomy books and tools, and we finally did a skeletal study, a skeletal comparison, and we looked at the whole of the model in comparison to, move this guy real quick, hold tight, get my layers back.